Let's talk about Canada, our friendly northern neighbor, land of maple syrup and crucially our main source of lumber. Recently President Trump declared the US doesn't need Canadian wood, a bold claim, since Canada supplies over 80% of our imported lumber. Imagine swearing off coffee after an all-nighter. That's how unrealistic this is. This isn't just political bluster, it's the start of a trade war with real consequences. The dispute centers on softwood lumber, essential for building homes and communities across America. The Trump administration's move aims to protect U.S. lumber producers, but American sawmills can't meet our demand alone. Cutting off Canadian lumber isn't just bad economics, it's fantasy. Our housing market, construction industry, and everyday Americans are now caught in the crossfire. The tough talk sounds patriotic, but the real cost lands on families trying to build a home, or even just a backyard shed. This isn't about punishing Canada, it's about making life harder for Americans. When you poke the beaver, you risk more than just higher prices. You gamble with the American dream. How did we get here? Tariffs, lots of them. In 2025, the Trump administration slapped a 25% tariff on Canadian goods, then raised it to 35%, citing everything from immigration to national security. This move ignored the USMCA, a trade deal meant to keep goods duty-free. For lumber, the result was a 35% tax, making Canadian wood far pricier for Americans. The goal, boost U.S. lumber. The reality, higher costs for anyone building or buying in America. These tariffs create chaos for builders, who can't predict what wood will cost next month, let alone next year. The USMCA was supposed to foster free trade, but these tariffs sent a message: agreements are only as good as the mood in Washington. This erodes trust with allies, and makes future cooperation harder. Instead of punishing Canada, we're punishing ourselves, raising prices on a resource we can't do without. It's economic roulette, and American consumers lose every time. The damage goes far beyond lumber, it's a blow to our international relationships. What happened when tariffs hit? Lumber imports from Canada dropped 28% in January 2026. Prices in Canada fell, but US builders didn't benefit. Tariffs wiped out any savings. Canadian producers got squeezed, and Americans paid more. Despite the drop, Canada still supplies over 80% of our imported lumber. We can't just replace that supply. US mills lack capacity, and other sources are too costly or unsuitable. The result, a shrinking supply and rising prices for American builders. In 2025, total softwood lumber imports fell for the fourth straight year. Our construction industry is being starved of its most vital ingredient. This isn't complicated economics. Restrict supply, prices rise. The real mystery is why we choose to sabotage our own economy. The sawdust is settling, and it's clear. These tariffs hurt Americans most. It's a lose-lose for everyone involved in the trade. This isn't just an economic debate, it's about where Americans live. Lumber tariffs have driven up construction costs, and 60% of US builders report significant price hikes. Those costs get passed to homebuyers and renters. The price of a new home rises by thousands, pushing ownership out of reach for many families. It's not just about houses, it's about shelter, stability, and the American dream. In 2025, single-family housing starts fell nearly 7%, the weakest since the pandemic recovery. Fewer homes mean higher prices for buyers and renters alike. When building slows, jobs are lost across the construction industry. Even renters feel the squeeze as fewer apartments are built and rents climb. These tariffs are a government-mandated price hike on the roof over your head. Whether you buy or rent, you're paying the price. Then things escalated. Fast. In January 2026, President Trump threatened a 100% tariff on all Canadian goods after Canada's Prime Minister suggested diversifying trade. This wasn't policy, it was a threat that sent shockwaves through the economy. Canada is our largest trading partner. $2.7 billion in goods cross the border daily. A 100% tariff would be economic disaster. Gas prices would soar, steel and aluminum costs would double, and grocery bills would explode. This isn't targeted policy, it's economic self-destruction. Markets panicked, gold prices soared, the dollar dropped, and uncertainty reigned. The mere threat of such tariffs rattled global markets and exposed the volatility of US trade policy. The risk isn't just higher prices, it's chaos for every American household. Even if the tariff remains a threat, the damage to trust and stability is real. This is what happens when trade wars go nuclear. The fallout hits everyone. Is anyone fighting back? Some, but progress is slow. In February 2026, the Supreme Court struck down some Trump tariffs, but not on lumber, steel, or aluminum. So, the most painful tariffs remain. Congress tried to help with the Housing Tariff Exclusion Act, but it excluded Canadian lumber, the main source, making it mostly symbolic. The Department of Commerce is reviewing the duties, but relief won't come until at least 2027. Meanwhile, builders and homebuyers keep paying inflated prices. Washington's red tape is no match for the real-world pain these tariffs cause. This isn't about protecting jobs, it's about raising costs for American families. Tariffs have made housing more expensive, slowed construction, and rattled markets. The real losers aren't politicians, they're ordinary Americans, paying more every day. And that's the true cost of this trade war.